The Pittsburgh Steelers have signed tight end MyCole Pruitt and also waived running back Alfonzo Graham, and they have also lost inside linebacker Mykal Walker to a different team. So, to start off with the Pittsburgh Steelers signing, they've signed tight end who formerly played for the Falcons, the Tennessee Titans, and some other teams to a contract today. The Pittsburgh Steelers signed MyCole Pruitt. Pruitt is a guy who comes in and he has some experience with offensive coordinator Arthur Smith because he worked with him in Tennessee and Atlanta when Arthur Smith was with both of those teams. So it's been reported by ESPN's Jeremy Fowler that MyCole Pruitt is now a Pittsburgh Steeler, and the Steelers have actually confirmed this as well on their social media account. This is a one-year deal for Pruitt, and further financial details weren't disclosed as of yet. So it's not like we know how much money he'll be making. More than likely, it is just a veteran minimum contract, and the Pittsburgh Steelers already have tight ends on the roster, have 3+ tight ends, so this is more of a depth signing, and also just something for training camp and just to have extra body over there. But just to get over and kind of give you some background information on him, let me just go through who he is. So Pruitt, he's 32 years old, and he was originally a 5th round pick of the Minnesota Vikings back in 2015. He signed with the Tennessee Titans back in the 2018 season, and over there he worked with Arthur Smith, who was the offense coordinator in the 2019 and 2020 season. But after that, after Arthur Smith left for the Atlanta Falcons to become their head coach, Pruitt also left. He then signed with the Atlanta Falcons in the 2022 season, spending the last 2 seasons with the Falcons. Arthur Smith was also Pruitt's tight ends coach back in the 2018 season as well. So Pruitt's first year with the team and the year before Smith replaced Matt LaFleur as the tight ends offensive coordinator. In 2023, Pruitt saw minimal work in the passing game. He only caught 9 passes for 110 yards and a touchdown. His 2022 season was a lot better though, but he still only put up 16 receptions for 150 yards, but he also added in 4 touchdowns. One of those scores actually came against the Pittsburgh Steelers, a 7-yard touchdown in a 19-16 Pittsburgh win, as you could see on the thumbnail when he got it over Minkah Fitzpatrick and he ran it in. So like I said, he's coming over to the Pittsburgh Steelers. He more than likely will not make the 53-man roster. If he does make this team, it will more than likely be because of injury, but he has a better chance of making the practice squad. Looking at Pruitt, he has impressive athlete type of skills, and that's kind of what he was known for when he was coming out of the draft. Hailing from Southern Illinois, he weighed at 6'2", 251 pounds at the NFL Combine. He ran a 4.58 second 40-yard dash and had a 38-inch vertical. Of course, that was nearly a decade ago, and his speed and his athleticism kind of diminished over time, as it does with any player with age. For his career, however, Pruitt appeared in 109 games, making 39 starts, and he has a total of 71 receptions for 748 yards and 12 touchdowns. So MyCole Pruitt can play in a bit of special teams as well. He has logged 122 snaps last year on the special teams unit with the Atlanta Falcons. He has also saw 402 snaps on offense, so he primarily functions as a blocker. And Smith's offenses are usually heavy populated by tight ends, having 3 tight ends, 2 tight end sets. And also it's a trend that will continue more than likely in Pittsburgh. The Steelers now have Pat Freiermuth, Darnell Washington, Connor Heyward, Ronnie Williams, and now Pruitt at the tight end spot. So that is 5 tight ends. How many tight ends do the Steelers usually carry on the roster? They usually carry 3. And sometimes they may even carry 3 tight ends and 1 fullback. But more than likely, altogether, it's 3, including the fullback spot. So given Smith's offense, he likes to use a tight end spot. Maybe they have another tight end on the roster and carry 4. But even with that, it's more than likely Pruitt. There's just not enough space on the roster for him to make it if everyone's healthy. Just looking at this signing and looking at Pruitt's career, in this league, I guess it helps when you have that connection to someone, a connection to a high level coach, whether that be a tight ends coach when he was with Tennessee, and then an offensive coordinator when he was also with Tennessee, with Arthur Smith, again, head coach when he was with Atlanta. I guess it helps when you have that connection, because even though his stats aren't amazing, he still played until he's 32 years old now. He still has played this long way, this long career for a decade plus, without putting that much production up on the field in terms of receiving stats. So it really helps when you have that connection to someone in this league that's a coach that could keep you around even though your stats aren't it. But anyway, MyCole Pruitt is now a Pittsburgh Steeler and joins the tight end group. Let's see if he could perform on the field next season, or will he be just a training camp body. But now, moving over to the next topic of this video, yesterday, the Pittsburgh Steelers waived running back Alonzo Graham. So Alfonzo Graham was waived by the team. He was an undrafted free agent out of Morgan State, who the Pittsburgh Steelers picked up following the 2023 NFL Draft. He made a training camp with the Steelers. In training camp, he showed some flashes before being lost to the season after suffering a torn labrum in his shoulder. So Graham, he was invited to the Pittsburgh Steelers rookie minicamp after the 2023 NFL Draft, impressed enough to sign a contract with the Steelers, giving the team some depth and hopefully a future person who can maybe make the depth chart down the road at the running back position. But his shoulder injury ended the bid for his roster spot after getting hurt in a 7-on-7 drill. He was waived/injured a few days later by the team, but after he cleared waivers, he signed a future reserve contract with the team. So he was inverted to the injured reserved for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and now, because of the impact, the rule of 51, he was outside of it, and the Pittsburgh Steelers allowed him the 73 players under contract out of 90-man limits, but now he's officially waived from the team. He was someone who showed promise. He's a fast guy, a speedy running back. He also was kind of a power back as well, along with the speed, but now he's officially off of the team, and the Pittsburgh Steelers don't have him anymore. He had a unique path to the NFL, playing at colleges in Arizona, Kansas, California, before coming back to the Baltimore area and then Morgan State in 2022-2023. As a senior, he put up productive yards, rushing for over 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns. In his 2-year career, he's put up over 1,700 yards, 13 touchdowns, and he was also a receiving threat as well. So it's sad to see that he got injured because he really had a good chance of making the team. Because just of the way he performed in training camp, he was one of the people who caught the eye of the coaching staff, but obviously the injury changed everything. And now with the Pittsburgh Steelers, they've officially waived running back Alonzo Graham. Moving over to the third and final story of this video, inside linebacker Mykal Walker is no longer a Pittsburgh Steeler. He has moved on and signed a contract with the Washington Commanders. So during the 2023 season, the Pittsburgh Steelers ran extremely thin at the inside linebacker position, and he was someone who they had to sign. Someone who never played all season, wasn't on a team, wasn't on a practice squad, but then they signed him to a contract. And they signed him, and he was actually a starter for a few games here and there for the team. After spending 3 seasons with Atlanta Falcons and being selected in the 4th round of the 2020 NFL Draft, Walker came to Pittsburgh and ended up starting 5 games total and appearing in 8. And he logged 33 total tackles, 21 solo, 2 tackles for loss, 2 pass defense, and one interception during his time with the Pittsburgh Steelers. But now he's officially gone and off of this team. He was someone who we obviously, just looking at his play style, it's not like he performed well. He was actually at some points pretty bad for the team in run defense and especially being attacked in the passing game, but that's expected when you never played all season, haven't played in a while, or in a new system and everything like that. But for being thrown into the fire right away, he did hold his own for the most part. If he was going to sign back with the Steelers, it would not be in the starting role in which he had because of injuries, and more than likely would be the 4th, 5th linebacker on the roster. But he's officially moved on and signed with the Washington Commanders. Although his time with Pittsburgh was short-lived, he stepped up in a big way and helped solidify the unit alongside Elandon Roberts. But just touching on this topic a little bit more, the inside linebacker position for the Steelers, it's a position that not many people are talking about. When people are talking about the holes in the Steelers, talking about center, talking about cornerback a little bit, wide receiver, and things of that nature. Wide receiver, but they're not really talking about inside linebacker. But inside linebacker has been a huge problem for the Steelers for many seasons. And last season, it looked like it was solidified with Kwon Alexander, Elandon Roberts, Cole Holcomb, but injuries happened, and now they're extremely thin at the position. They really only have Elandon Roberts, who is coming off a pec injury, Mark Robinson, who's still a young player in this league, but it was drafted in the 7th round, third year now, and Cole Holcomb is still dealing with a knee injury. So they have yet to address the inside linebacker position, but they lose Mykal Walker, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do at this position, whether they sign someone in free agency, bring back Kwon Alexander, or address it early in the draft. But this is a position that is a hole for the Steelers, and that they need to fix immediately. But with that being said, that's the end of this video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on all 3 of these topics. The Pittsburgh Steelers signing MyCole Pruitt. Do you like that signing? Do you think he could actually make the roster, or do you think he's just a training camp body and he won't make it? Maybe he's just a practice squad guy. Let me know your thoughts. Let me also know your thoughts about Alfonzo Graham being waived, and also your thoughts on Mykal Walker moving on for the Pittsburgh Steelers. How do you want the Pittsburgh Steelers to address the inside linebacker position? Do you think it'll be through free agency or the draft? Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. I covered everything through free agency. I'll continue to do so with all the new signings, all the new moves in terms of waves and everything like that, and all the introductions. I'll also continue to cover the NFL draft. It's right around the corner, like 3 weeks away, and I'll cover everyone who the Pittsburgh Steelers select, undrafted guys as well. So make sure you subscribe to the channel with notifications on. I'll see you guys all later. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.